family. I'm getting some clips here from Omar Johnson. It kind of tweaked my interest, so I'm going to put them here so you guys can have some information on what's going on, or some updates, and make you look at life a little bit more different. Uh, about the prison system, about the welfare, and about the ghettos. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Peace out, lots of love.
His name is Dr. Jermaine McAlpin, right? He's the chair of America. He's the chair of African American Studies at New Jersey City University. He was breaking down genocide, right? He was giving us the history. Polish Jewish lawyer Raphael Lemkin introduced the word genocide in 1944, right? Based on his observation of what was going on in Armenia. There are 5 key points to genocide. I'm pretty sure you're aware of them. But there's one that really struck me, right? It says deliberately creating conditions of life calculated to bring about their physical destruction in whole and in part.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about this particular categorization or criteria for genocide, I think about employment, right? And in our environment, like, we don't talk about enough availability of a livable wage for Black men in this country, or lack thereof. And I'm starting to wonder, is this a part of the genocide? Is this another tactic of genocide?
Yes, it is, to me.
He's unable to provide for himself. He's unable to provide for a family. And the narrative I'm starting to hear now is that a lot of men are anti-family. And I think they're discouraging people from family life through economics.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's just too hard to have a family, and brothers are analyzing the scope and saying, as well as you said, checking out on life, but also I don't see the point of being in a family. I know it's all this talk online, but I think one of it is economics, people understanding that they generally, even if they are working, for the brothers that are working and trying, they can't afford to sustain a family in this environment economically.
So true. Yep, so true.
Now, I'm going to take this back to the 1967 Kerner Commission report, which I believe, through my analysis, is part of the big reason why Dr. King was murdered when he was murdered, because the Kerner Commission report came out a few months before the assassination, and it had all the statistics and all the evidence Dr. King needed in order to substantiate his breadbasket campaign and economic justice movement for Black America. In the Kerner Commission, one of the main recommendations to President Lyndon Baines Johnson in the U.S. Congress was to create jobs for Black America. It was one of the biggest recommendations. If we do not create jobs, we will never be able to alleviate poverty. And the most famous quote from the Kerner Commission report was what? They said, quote, "What Black America can never forget and what white America doesn't seem to understand," and I'm paraphrasing, but I'm almost about 90% accurate, is that white America is deeply implicated in the ghetto. White institutions created it, white institutions sustain it, and white institutions condone it. This is coming from a presidential committee that was put together to study the 1967 riots. The 1967 riots, which was one of the most expansive episodes of racial conflict America had seen. Probably worse than the Red Hot Summer of 1919 was 1967. And then you had the Dr. King riots in 1968. In fact, one of the reasons Thurgood Marshall was made Supreme Court Justice was to placate Black America after the 67 riots. One of the reasons Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas was made Supreme Court Justice was to placate Black America after Rodney King.
Okay.
So that's why that was done. But the Kerner Commission really hit it on the money with unemployment. Now, economics as a weapon, unemployment as a weapon, Black men don't get married, to your point, if they don't feel that they can sustain a family. Half the Black men in most major cities in Black America have been unemployed consistently for the past 30 years. Consistently unemployed. 50% for the past 30 years. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, go to any major city and your unemployment rate for Black males has been at 50% or greater. Now, whenever they have this conversation on crime, the narrative always is we need more
policemen.
Yeah. We need more jails.
And more jails,
yeah. Anything about we need a stronger economy in the inner city.
Nope.
Because America has no plan to employ black men.
Nope.
You can't destroy your people by giving them economic opportunity.
Nope.
So they will not do it. And our elected officials, Congressional Black Caucus, Urban League, NAACP, Black Leadership, Black Church, none of them advocate for economic employment either. So that has been
They're all sellouts.
that economic empowerment for black men in America has been the elephant in the room whenever we talk about our political progress. And it must be tied to the violence, because most of the violence that we see in our community is in a large part an outgrowth of the stress that is associated with not being able to provide.
And it's demeaning, it's demeaning when you can't work and provide for yourself as a man.
Absolutely.
You know,
And the fact that you can't provide for your queen, your children. A man can protect his family even if he's unemployed, but you cannot provide for them if you're unemployed. Look at child support and the weaponization of child support. Bill Clinton, with the bill that he passed years ago, that basically said we're going to go after these.
He was no good
and
either
get
for
you
the black
across
people.
State lines. You're going to be charged with a federal crime of trying to evade child support. He criminalized child support in the aftermath of the 1994 crime bill, and nobody paid any attention to the fact that that bill he passed after the crime bill that criminalized child support was in large respects an agenda to bring all black men with a child support case under the direct supervision of the criminal justice system. So in many respects, if you pay child support, you're almost on a sort of a probation of sorts. Because if you default on your child support, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
And that makes no sense, because
if you go to
if you're
jail,
in jail,
you
that
can't pay
kills
child
your
support.
earning potential. It's supposed to help the
And
child.
your child support continues to go up. And when you get out and go back to the judge, right? The judge is going to say, I need $1,000, or I got to bump you back to jail. I just got out of jail.
Yep.
You got 30 days to come up with $1,000.
They're going to go and steal
What does the
or
judge
rob some
tell you to
person.
do? You ain't got no credentials. You got a felony on your record. He needs $1,000
In
his
30
hand
days.
cash in 30 days. He just told you to go rob.
Yep.
The judge just told you to go
Gonna
sell
rob
dope.
somebody.
He didn't say it, but he said it.
Yep.
Because the judge knows the only way you can show back up here in 30 days with $1,000 in cash is to do something illegal. And a lot of that is the desperation that is behind all of these crimes. These crimes that are being committed, nearly every one of them have an economic aspect, even if it's domestic violence, because that stress of unemployment, that stress of not being able to pay the bills, that adds to the conflict between the black man and the black woman, the romance without finance. And unfortunately, our celebrity class and our well-to-do American African community, they haven't done enough to invest back into their own.
We on the same page.
You know, and this is important because I was reading an article talking about.
And that is women have to support them men. If they can't find a job, support them. Don't really, not really support them, but give them, just hanging in with black man, because black man, there's so much struggle for black man to make it here in America, so much struggle. And these black women make it very, very hard for these black men. So that's why they say we can't find a good black man, because when black women want a rich black man, and there's not much around. Not much around. Okay, folks, I'm out there. Peace out. Subscribe, share, like the videos, thumbs up. I'm out here. Peace out. Lots of love.